Fire lance. The fire lance is one of the earliest gunpowder weapons developed in China during the 10th century. It began as a spear fitted with a tube that expelled a burst of flame along with small fragments. At first, it was more psychological than precise, creating noise, light, and confusion in close combat. Over time, the loose fragments were replaced with solid projectiles, and the tube itself became stronger and more refined. This slow transformation is what eventually led to true firearms. The fire lance matters because it represents the moment when controlled explosions began to be used not just for fire but for propulsion. Hand cannon. The hand cannon is among the first true firearms, appearing in China and spreading westward into the Middle East and Europe by the 14th century. It consisted of a simple metal barrel with a touch hole, fired by applying a flame to ignite the powder. It had no trigger or advanced aiming system, so it required coordination and experience to use effectively. Even so, it allowed a single soldier to wield gunpowder power in a compact form. Over time, this basic idea evolved into more reliable personal firearms. The hand cannon marks the beginning of portable gunpowder weapons in warfare. Pot de fer. The pot de fer is an early European cannon that appeared in the 14th century, notable for its unusual shape. It had a bulbous chamber that narrowed into a small barrel, and it often fired bolt-like projectiles rather than round shot. This design shows how early gunners were still experimenting, blending ideas from crossbows with emerging gunpowder technology. Its performance was limited, but it demonstrated a growing understanding of how to contain and direct explosive force. It stands as one of the first clear attempts in Europe to create a functional cannon. Bombard. The bombard is a massive siege cannon used during the late Middle Ages, especially in Europe and the Ottoman Empire. These weapons were built to fire enormous stone balls capable of breaking through thick castle walls. They were often constructed from iron bands or cast bronze and required significant effort to transport and operate. Firing a bombard was a slow process, but each shot carried tremendous impact. Their introduction forced a major change in defensive architecture, as traditional walls could no longer withstand repeated bombardment. The bombard symbolizes the end of the medieval fortress era. Bugler. The bugler is a smaller and more adaptable cannon developed during the same period as the bombard. It featured a removable chamber, allowing crews to prepare multiple charges in advance and reload more quickly. Mounted on simple wooden supports, it could be repositioned more easily than larger guns. This made it useful in both siege and open field situations. Its design reflects a growing focus on efficiency and practicality in artillery. The bugler helped bridge the gap between heavy, immobile cannons and more flexible battlefield weapons. Serpentine cannon. The Serpentine cannon is an early iron gun used in Europe during the 15th century. It was longer and more slender than earlier designs, offering improved range and better control over the projectile's path. These cannons could fire both stone and early iron balls, marking a transition in ammunition as well. Though still primitive by later standards, they showed clear progress in metallurgy and design. The Serpentine cannon represents a step toward more consistent and reliable artillery. Culverin. The Culverin is a long-barreled cannon developed in the 16th century, valued for its accuracy and extended range. It fired relatively small iron balls at high velocity, making it effective for targeting enemy troops and fortifications from a distance. Its design required stronger materials and better casting techniques, reflecting advances in technology. Armies began to rely on culverins for more precise engagements rather than sheer destructive force. This shift helped redefine how artillery was used in battle. Demi Coverin. The Demi Coverin is a shorter and lighter version of the full Culverin, offering a balance between power and mobility. It retained good range and accuracy while being easier to transport and deploy. This made it especially useful for armies that needed flexibility during campaigns. It could support infantry movements while still delivering effective fire. The Demi Coverin shows how artillery was becoming more specialized and adaptable.